Welcome to Global Sustainable Energy, Past, Present, and Future. I'm Dr. Wendell Porter. I'm from the University of Florida. And before we move on, some of you might question what that little PE initials are behind my name. That's professional engineer. That's a state designation for anybody working in the public health or public safety type of arena. So just wonder where those initials came from. That's where. This course was taught the first time online at the University of Florida in 2008. And it was totally revamped this last winter and spring for 2013 showing on Coursera. Coursera and the University of Florida had a partnership to put these courses out throughout the world. And when you get started, remember to always read the course instructions and also remember the FAQ site. Before we move on, some of you might wonder about what is that Foundation for the Gator Nation sentence there. Well, our mascot here in north central Florida is the alligator. There are many that live out in the wild around us, so that's our mascot, the alligator, short for gator. Your grade will come out to be discussion boards, quizzes, and projects, and we'll move on to see how that comes about. What we have is a statement of accomplishment with distinction and statement of accomplishment. With distinction, you're going to do the discussion boards. Your quizzes will have a 70% or greater grade on all the quizzes, except the two lowest will be dropped. Projects, you'll have a participation in all projects and peer review. Now, the statement of accomplishment is a little bit lower certification than that, and the projects, you'll be participating and peer reviewed in just one of the projects. Now, we also have from Coursera the signature track, and that is an additional biometric series that will actually verify that you are you. It's one thing they worry about is the actual person taking it is the one signed up. And if you go through that signature track, that's a further verification. And some universities, I can't make a promise, but are using that as a course grade type of evaluation. So, but how about the class itself? What is my goal? I mean, for developing this class and having us all involved in this, where are we going with that? One of the chief things is we want to be able to critically evaluate the current status of our energy world, so to speak. We read about it in the newspapers, we see it on television shows, people comment about it, we have a whole lot, it's in crisis. Where are we going with that? So we want to be able to critically evaluate that for ourselves. And once we get to that stage, we want to be able to develop scenarios to transform us into the future, change our current status into the future. So an example, I saw this article once. It said oil inventories are a historic low in Cushing, Oklahoma. I mean, like, why should I care? Why should you care? What if they were a historic high? Would that matter? Well, as a matter of fact, it does. It matters worldwide, and we'll find out in this class why. Now, how about wind farms? You see pictures like this. There's a nice wind farm out in the North Sea and over in Europe, and what do we think about that? Wind farms are intermittent. Will they supply electricity when we need it? It has the ability to supply more than we'll ever use. So what is the answer? You know, is it somewhere in between that? Is that right, wrong? What are our real questions we need to be asking ourselves? Okay, and I love this one because they always show it when they talk about a certain type of power, and they show this picture, and we're supposed to reach a conclusion from this picture. Well, it's wrong. It's probably not what you think. It really, really bugs your instructor. So we'll find out why when we go through this class. And how about biomass? That's in the news lately. We have some news in our own hometown here in Gainesville, Florida about that. But I work at land-grant university with a lot of people in soil sciences, agronomy, horticultural sciences, and then you worry about soil health. Do we overuse our soil and kill our soil and yields go down? We all starve to death. And will biofuels, biomass energy contribute to that? So what is the question we want to look at there? Or is it somewhere in between? And also in the news, lately in 2012 and 2013, there's been a terrible amount of news about pollution in China. One of the reasons they have that is because individuals in their individual apartments and homes in Beijing, for example, use these little coal briquettes to both heat their house and cook on. That's the fines, the leftover bits of coal that you could use to power a power plant, also make steel. The leftovers, they mix with sawdust and glue and put them in a mold with those holes through it so they'll light easily, and put them in a little furnace right there in their house, and they cook off this little stove-like thing and also heat their house. It's very inexpensive. Many millions of people rely on this, but the pollution is just tremendous. So where do we go from here? How do we put that kind of topic in with what we're going to learn in this class. So what kind of future do we want? The current one with fossil fuels that are unsustainable and non-renewable. Tar sands, we have the Deepwater Horizon mess in the Gulf of Mexico here. We have mountaintop removal, where we're getting at coal seams. It's harder to get coal in the eastern half of the United States, so we blow off the top of a mountain to get the coal underneath that. And you can see the degradation from space and from that long view photograph beneath my elbow there of tar sands, where you scrape off the tundra and all the trees that are up there and get at the tar sands underneath. And then natural gas hydraulic fracturing, that's the thing that's come on the news lately. Is that going to save us or contribute to the problem? So, where do we want to go to a renewable future? A combination of wind, solar, energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is great. How do you do a picture of that? The side-by-side picture of a house and another house. One using 1/3 the energy of the other because one is much, much more efficient than the other. Biomass, do we grow crops or do we just use waste products now that we're throwing away to produce energy from biomass? And how about geothermal? Countries like Iceland that have a lot of geothermal electricity that they could produce. They're thinking about building a cable to England to transmit electricity to England based on geothermal, long-lasting, renewable future. So these are the kind of things we're going to find out. We're going to investigate, all of us, all 20,000 plus of us this time around. So welcome to the class, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.